Greetings, everyone. I wanted to share my thoughts on Blizzcon and Shadowlands specifically in a video. I had a lot of time to think about it. I'm recording this Sunday after Blizzcon, so everything's settled. I've read through most of the interviews, gathered all the data, avoided most of the other YouTubers for once. Normally I'm pretty good about just, learning through them about stuff, but this time, you know what? I'm going to learn myself, and I'm going to make the reaction video. Just kind of got some of the Shadowlands in-game stuff up here. The very end, I'll explain something that a lot of people don't seem to know, which is how to get the Eternal Traveler's Vestements. It's actually a not very fast quest chain, so prepare for some grinding. But yeah, let's talk about the initial reactions. So Friday, I was unfortunately at work, so I never got to watch the full opening ceremony, but I did catch the trailers and went back and watched the deep dives and stuff. And I gotta say, damn, this has got a lot of the Legion feels and in a really good way. Just Shadowlands feels really good. Diablo IV, which was the only part of the ceremony I got to catch live, that looks really cool, really dark, and it very much feels like, okay, we're switching from our heroes being the Nephilim of just going and killing gods, angels, demons, monsters. Now it sounds like we're back down to being more individual people, like more normal. Common folk was a phrase that got tossed around a lot, and I kind of like the idea of, yeah, we're the common folk. We're less the superpowers, and we're more like the named NPCs. I kind of like that. I did not particularly care for StarCraft 2's content. It probably wasn't worth mentioning, if you ask me. Let's just be realistic. StarCraft 2 is done. StarCraft 3 needs to happen. Like, it's time. Just if your biggest thing is a new commander, which gets announced all the time, it's not worth mentioning at BlizzCon. I know it's one of their big games, but without no new expansions on the horizon, just let it rest and go ahead and just bring out StarCraft 3. Well, in about 5 years, bring out StarCraft 3, because I'm not even sure if development's begun on that or not. I don't care about Overwatch, so yay, Overwatch 2. I don't really care. Hearthstone got another expansion. I stopped playing that a while ago because it's just, card games are expensive and I can't be bothered. Yeah, so I'll focus mostly on Diablo IV and Shadowlands. Let's just get Diablo IV out of the way. It was cool to see the Druid back. I noticed in the trailer they had a lot of subtle things that they've changed. I think a really cool example is the Barbarian was able to jump from an upper ledge to a lower ledge across what used to be impassable terrain. I thought that was pretty damn cool. The spell effects for the Sorceress, they look a little more subdued this time around, but I think that's okay. I'm guessing the characters are gender locked for story mode reasons, because they didn't show male-female customization. That's okay, I think. What else? Really digging the gothic look of the world. That trailer with Lilith was dark. Like, that genuinely got me excited. Like, okay, this is like some Helsing level dark. What is my worm doing? Okay, so the wormling just went on a run. Diablo looks good. I like the idea of an open world. Semi on and off. They'll probably retract the no offline thing, because, well, we know how that tends to go. What else? Yeah, that's about it for Diablo. It's got me excited, but I also recognize it's really far away. Don't care about Diablo Immortal. WoW Classic. I think they've got their plan for the next year or 2 years, so I don't expect anything new on that, just announcements of like, okay, here's this phase. So, yeah, nothing too crazy there. Shadowlands was the big one, and Shadowlands is what I'm going to focus on. So, let's talk about Bolvar versus Sylvanas. I don't like the fact that Bolvar lost, but I get it. I really, really felt like they took a personal shot at Bellular when they had her holding the Crown of Domination right before she could have put it on, but then rips it in half instead. That had some thoughts in my mind when I saw the sky rip open. First thought was, oh shit, not again. I mean, hey, like I said, a lot of Legion vibes, and this time they're starting with the giant hole in the sky. Then my thoughts were, okay, this is fine, we just have to fix the crown. Okay, Crown of Domination, forged by Nathrezim. Alright, and the Nathrezim were all but extinct because Illidan destroyed their homeworld. Okay, shoot. Who powered up the Nathrezim? Sargeras. We cannot let him out. That is a definite no-no. So he's trapped, Illidan's trapped, the Titans are trapped. We're gonna have to do this the hard way. Yeah, so that was a surprise. Seeing the world, I was initially worried, because of course I saw all the leaks, and I saw Bastion leaking, and I thought, hell no! Like, of the four covenants, the Kirin, or whatever they're called, they're gonna be my least favorite, I can already tell. It's like, they're the self-righteous, borderline light-bound, just, no. No. I want nothing to do with them. I understand that they'll be mandatory to play through, but yeah, no. Even the Fey creatures I normally hate fairies, but like, that one made sense, especially when they were like, Emerald Dream is spring and summer, and that place is fall and winter. You know what? I get it. Natural Circle of Rebirth. We knew Cenarius came back, so that's not like some new random BS. That was kind of cool. And then there's the Necrolords, who I plan to shack up with, because I'm an Undead Death Knight. Might as well add Necrolord to my title list. What else is up? The Vampire one I thought was pretty cool. It very much felt like, this is half Wrath of the Lich King, half Legion. So WoW's two best expansions. Yeah, fight me, Burning Crusade kids. Yeah, WoW's two best expansions, kind of getting a bit of both. The soul binding and the abilities, I think, is a good move, especially since they're throwing out the Heart of Azeroth and the artifact power. I was happy to hear that the heart is just going to go in the bank. So, yeah, you do get to keep your Essence cosmetics. Not that I would know. I've never gotten a rank 4 because I don't care. BFA, like, I'm here just to farm gold and keep my sub going, basically, and maybe mount farm. Like, BFA, I cannot wait for it to be over. It's like WoD. It's now that Shadowlands has been announced, 8.3 means nothing to me. Like, yeah, it was kind of cool, but now I see what's really coming. I'm like, yeah, no, this is a Band-Aid patch. It's the end of an expansion, but just like WoD, it's, I don't know. That is a thought I've been wrestling with of should they have cut and run with BFA and skipped N'Zoth. And I think at this point, yes, I think they should have cut and run. I'll do more of that later. I wanted to save BFA stuff for the end. I made a little list of stuff I wanted to talk about. Covenants, yeah, especially Soulbinds. It is a small mini talent tree, somewhat reminiscent of the Crucible, but not too terribly. It looks like it'll be pseudo-rep gated, kind of like your allies in Nashatar, so I'm glad that experiment kind of paid off. I'm trying to think what else. And then the fact that you can change your soulbind around like talents, that's good to hear, because it's hard not to make comparisons to Azerite armor in that gigantic pile of shit that was. Like, let's... Actually, you know what? I am gonna compare it to Azerite. Sorry, texting. Okay. So, they use the term a build-around feature. We know that in Warlords of Draenor it was the garrisons. In Legion, it was the artifacts, and in Battle for Azeroth, it was the Heart of Azeroth slash Azerite armor. And we've seen now, what happens when those systems are bad. The entire expansion is bad, basically. Garrisons themselves were not terrible. I enjoyed garrisons, but there was just too much tied to them and not enough tying you to the world. And to this day, I don't know how they could have fixed it. I really don't. It was just too much to do in there. It's like they gave it too much features. They definitely made the mission table too powerful. That much was clear. Like, I enjoyed it, but at the same time, yeah, I could play from my phone, basically. But it wasn't initially a bad idea. They just made it too powerful to the point where doing the other content really didn't feel necessary. I mean, if you went out and raided enough, you can just get raid gear every week now, and you barely had reason to leave. You had all your resources. Like, they made too much of it in the central garrison. This is just coming off the top of my head. I think if they had spread out some of the other functions to other parts of the world, that would have worked better. Like, main garrison would be like your crafting, your mission table, and whatnot. But like, you had to go to Gorgon for mining, for example, and what do you call it? The middle one, Terrakar? No, the one with Shatrath. That could have been herbs. I don't know. But 3 expansions too late for that. But yeah, and then Legion's artifacts. They were good. They affected your gameplay, but they didn't tie you to a location. You went out there, you worked on powering them up, and they made you stronger. They enhanced your gameplay. They gave us great class feel. Like, I still remember some of those gold traits really, really made class feel good. And just having them all, not having to choose like with talent points. I'm really glad they've realized on the talent points, like, oh, hey, active abilities. Yeah, no, that was a wrong move. I'm really glad that. Then we had BFA, where I almost want to say it was too much. It really felt like Activision got their hand in this, and they wanted the idea of infinite replayability, infinite content, always have something to do. We want to maximize the time you're in the game. Yeah, that doesn't work. They said, oh, social pressures will keep people, or diminishing returns will keep people from. No, social pressures is what makes people farm infinitely, grind the heart. And yeah, Azerite armor felt really shitty. There should never have been the flexible numbers where, oh yeah, this trait, higher eye level, you'll need a higher rank to unlock it. No, that was a terrible idea. It should have been fixed rates and just made it so, yeah, the first piece of Azerite armor, it doesn't actually have any traits, and then slowly tier your way up, so max level, you then unlock the 3 stuff. And then you worked your way up. But no, it was a terrible system. It didn't work. It came at the cost of tier sets, which was terrible. I'm really happy that they are admitting that getting rid of tier sets was a bad idea, and I'm not talking about the class tier sets. I liked when they said, okay, we're going to make the armor more themed around the instance. Yeah, that sounds cool. I'm very much in favor of that. I did agree with them when they said, we've made 22 different priest sets, we're running out of ideas. Yeah, that's fine. The problem was they took away the mechanical function of the tier set, and replacing it with 1 or 2 Azerite traits was terrible. So, for Shadowlands, because there is plenty of time for this, they're probably not releasing till August 2020 at the soonest. Bring back raid tier sets. And here's a suggestion, because I remember what they said about the locking it up. Just make everything that drops in there count as a set. Like, it doesn't have to visually match. Oh, it's going to visually match, but just everything counts as a set. And then, just do 2 or 3 or 6. And then you're not locked to specific tier sets. Then it's just have a certain amount of items from here. Maybe don't make the trinkets and rings count, because you can then stick the really cool effects on there. I hope we'll see more Benthic style stuff going forward, similar to the Corrupted. I hope we see more of that. I hope Titan Forging doesn't come back. Let that stay dead. Thank you, N'Zoth. Bye-bye. Kamehameha. Alright, but yeah. So, Covenants look good because it looks like there will be limits on what you can do. Like, you won't be able to grind it infinitely. You'll have... There'll only be so much you can do. And you'll have visible, good rewards. You'll have choice. You will never lose your rewards. I mean, the worst is, like, it sounds like if you switch straight Covenants, it would be like equipping a new artifact. Then yeah, you're starting from scratch with something new. You're not getting the same piece of gear, just 15 eye levels higher, and you lost all your traits. No, it's not like that. God, I cannot wait for BFA to be over. I'm going to say that a lot. I just cannot wait for this expansion to be over. Please, launch 9.0 sooner. I want the class change. I want this squish. I really, really am looking forward to the Profession and Legendary changes. Once again, I watch a lot of Bellular. He's getting his wish almost. We're getting craftable legendaries. Yeah, they pretty much took what he suggested. I haven't watched his videos on Blizzcon until I've made this one, so I'm really interested to hear what he has to say about that. What else? Yeah, just the fact that now we can control the secondaries, that's really nice. This character, in my Death Knight, I've been playing him in anticipation of Shadowlands. This is going to be my main again. Praying to God they make Frost playable, or at least get rid of the two-handed requirement. Please. I wanted Frostmourne. I didn't want the Twin Blades. So, really, really hoping I'm playing that. But as a blacksmith, I'm making my gold by just selling greens right now as I level up, because that's actually a pretty decent source of income. I mean, just as I logged in today, I made 10K from a couple greens that sold just happen to have the right stats. But now I can choose which ones. I'll need the gems to control it, and you know what? That just made jewel crafting way more viable. Now if you just didn't have to now if only you could control what gems you got. Like, jewel crafting needs an overhaul. I cannot emphasize that enough. If we do the 2-aura system, I think half the gem colors should come from one, half should come from the other, and then the epic gems only come from the rare one. Just no greens. Please, no greens. I get it, they're there for crafting up, but just don't. Please don't. Put more emphasis into their craftable jewelry, into secondary stuff. Just get rid of the green gems. Or make those the ones required for crafting. You don't have to waste an epic or a blue gem on that. That would be really nice. But yeah, we can pick our legendaries. I really hope we get to name them. That would be awesome. And crafting gets control. It definitely sounds pretty good. What else is on my talk? The Jailer and the Maw. I like the fact that they just straight up said, here's a brand new character from an unknown part of the lore, so there is nothing established about him. Have fun discovering it. I like that. I also liked how they laughed at the guy who asked, is he someone we've seen, like Argus the Unmaker? No, I don't think he is. Just looking at his shape, he kind of almost looks like a proto-Titan. Like, I will say this, he has the shape, and I would not be surprised if he has the same skeleton as a Titan. But he's obviously not that powerful, or he wouldn't need Sylvanas. I like the fact that there's a big unknown guy. And they're saying that he may not be the villain. Sylvanas might be the villain. I don't know. I'll touch on Sylvanas at the end, but I like the fact there's a big unknown. And I like the fact that there is an infinitely replayable thing. And they are tying rewards to it. It does feel like, okay, if I had to guess, you're going to get one big payout a week. And then you'll get to regrind it for anima and experience, like literal person experience of having done it, and for bragging rights. I can definitely see it's similar to the Visions. It kind of feels like those were prototypes, and I like that. And I think they are going to use the visions of N'Zoth as a test bed for the tower. I think that's pretty cool and a good idea. I like the fact that they said it's not beatable right now, which is fine. I would be really disappointed if I could walk in with some blues and go fight the jailer and kill him. It's definitely going to be expandable. I liked that in the deep dive they mentioned how they got events coming around, which will theme it out, and it's also kind of like what is this? I think Slay the Spire is the game where you kind of build up your deck. Also, I'm seeing some. I've seen it in Hearthstone where it's like you pick bonuses as you go. They're temporary just for this one run. I think that's pretty good, and I like the idea that you can build themed playthroughs. The spider thing was oddly specific, but kind of cool. So I think that'll be pretty good. Just how painful it is will be the determining factor on replayability. Raids and dungeons are still there. Hoping they do some of the Benthic kind of stuff where where dungeons and raids might drop gear that specifically boosts you in there, although there might also be soulbinds specific to that. Oh, one of the other things I wanted to mention on the whole build-out ability of the Covenants is it'll be easy for them to expand it. They can either add more tiers to soulbinds or add new characters. I caught on that they mentioned that there's more Covenants than just the 4 out there, so we'll probably see new Covenants further down the line. A really easy to expand upon system. It looks like the Shadowlands is also... I didn't see a map of it, but it kind of looked like they were islands, and you traveled between them from the city, and then the Maw was, I don't know, get launched out of catapult or something. So I think that'll work pretty well, and then you can just add more places. Sorry. Yeah, so add more places, add more races, like... we'll probably get allied races, although to be fair, the Shadowlands one don't make a whole lot of sense as allied races. I could see Vykrul and Vargrul, or not Vykrul, Vykrul and whatever the hell Helia uses. I could see those being in. There's no way Helia's not going to be in here. So, yeah, Helia will be in, or probably be back. I'm excited to see the other side dungeon, because I've been wondering, what's the other side, mon? I've been debating switching to a Zandalari when 8.3 launches. I'm leveling up one right now for the armor, but I just think they're such a cool, I've always liked trolls, and then Zandalari is just, like, the pinnacle of troll, in a good way. So, I don't know, I might switch to that. Talk about classes. I'm very, very excited for what I heard. Yeah, that guy is the Unpruner. The fact that they admitted they took away core identity things felt really cool. I get the fact that they didn't bring stances back. The only ones really hurting on that are Warriors and Death Knights, and I'm okay with the whole stances thing, you know. It was just a copy of the Warrior thing, and I think with the Unholy Aura, the Frost Aura, and the Blood Aura, I'm okay with those being gone. I think I'm hoping, I'm just praying that they do something about the talent, the one that every Death Knight has to take at the max level for Frost. I hope they get rid of it. That has been the bane of my playing of Frost. That is the reason I don't play Frost. When I liked Frost, I liked the idea of it was just get as many obliterates off as possible, and then you had a bunch of utility spells. That's the Frost I want to come back. And Obliteration kind of does that, but it's just... The tuning has never been in favor of it because there was always ways to get Breath to last longer and longer. And I really like Sindragos's Fury because holy shit, that's powerful. Alright, so... But, you know, Paladins get their auras back. That one actually really resonated to me because I do have a Paladin on Classic, and you get Devotion aura pretty damn early, and it was just one of those things where I was like, oh my god, this is what the Paladin thing was before. As WoW's Paladins changed, a lot of other Paladins in other media changed. A big place where it didn't change, though, was Dungeons and Dragons, and so for me... coming into D&D around end of MoP, early WoD, where Paladins had basically lost all their utility. And, I mean, let's face it, a lot of the classes are just build up charges and spend them. That is the summarized mechanics of most classes. Like, it feels really good knowing that's coming back. Rogues getting their poisons back. Yeah, I'm okay with that. That makes sense. Pirates had poisoned swords. The Shadow Rogues, you could just, like, make some poison theme. God damn it, gotta get out of my video. I wanted to use this one, Ice Crown itself, and not just the top of ICC 25-man, because I wanted to get a good shot of the sky before it. Yeah, let me just back up a little bit. Dumb Alliance. Out of my video. Nope, go away. Shoot, go away, Bonsamdi. Whatever. So, yeah. I'm excited. It's looking pretty good. The, yeah, no, just, it's looking good. Warlocks getting their curses back. I do kind of hope they keep that as one, too, because that'll make choice matter. I'm really excited to see what they do with the classes. Yeah, no, like, I'm excited. And I hope with the level squish that they might revisit the talents and just be like, okay, a lot of these things need to come out. I get Anti-Magic Zone back. That one's got me excited. That was one I actually really felt hurt when I lost that, because it's like, hey, that was one of my big utility things for the raid is, oh, we've got a big blast of magic incoming. Okay, get in my bubble. I like that. I want that one back for sure, because that one felt really cool. Also, just, like, low-key, and I'm very biased on Death Knight right now, but some of those abilities Bolvar used was damn cool. Like, they made that a raid fight, and Sylvanas beat up the raid fight like I do when I go fight Lich King now. So, but, like, just the really cool use of Remorseless Winter, throwing the Frozen Throne at her, sending the zombies at first, just... yeah, that was such a cool battle. I hope we get some stuff like that. I want Bolvar's armor. In fact, what I'm doing after I finish recording this video is I'm going to go be running Mythic Nighthold again to try and finish that armor set. Okay, yeah, classes, it's exciting. Shamans get their totems back. Warlocks get their curses. Paladins get their blessings. Big losers in all this, Death Knights Demon Hunters and Monks. They barely lost anything. Monks might get a little more fist weaving, but Demon Hunters, well, that'll be interesting to see. Also, the fact that the hero classes are going to get, it looks like they're going to either get knocked down to level 1 or a midpoint. It'll be interesting to see what happens. Yeah, allied races start at level 10. Once you hit 50 or 60, you'll get your armor. Seems pretty fair. I've got some of them done. I actually do have plans for at least one allied race once the expansion switches over. Yeah, let's talk about that. So I'll need to do some testing once, beta or whatever begins, but 70% reduction in some cases, that sounds really nice. And I already know which expansion I'd want to pick to level through, and it's not because I like to level that expansion, it's because I can get through that expansion in a couple hours right now. Imagine what I could do with, imagine how quickly I could do it with the new squish, and that is WoD. I can fly in WoD, so there's already a huge leg up over half the people, and it's got those treasures. It's as simple as, yeah, I'm gonna go and get all those treasures and zip through the expansion. Maybe I'll need to play the story, maybe they'll nerf that, or maybe they will leave it, and WoD is the one where, hey, if you want a really, really quick leveling experience, go through Warlords of Draenor. Legion is, here, have artifacts and that awesomeness, although, to be fair, you don't get the artifact powers, and then I don't like the fact that they're going to make new players play through BFA, honestly, unless they can really, really fix that leveling experience, because Actually, now that I think about it, yeah, it will be fixed because you will be gaining power, but they got to be real careful on BFA because that has a real sour taste in my mouth right now, and that is one thing where it's like, I do not want to go back to BFA. As a Horde, I might want to go through Zandalar, because that is a kind of cool place, and there is at least somewhat of a cohesive story. Legion, there's no cohesive story. You just get 4 really good micro-stories. BFA, there's at least a cohesive story, and the Zandalar one is much better. Sorry, Jaina, but your mom and dad issues, they kind of pale in comparison to a freaking old god spawn. I still remember one of my favorite memes was just Alliance and BFA. I love you, Mom. And it's just, that picture of Jaina and her mother. Bottom side, Horde. It's Horde as Rambo just going, Loktar Ogar, motherfuckers. And just mowing down the blood trolls. It's like that. Yeah. Yeah, we definitely had the better campaign. So, that kind of sucks for the new players, but at the same time, you do at least kind of get a sense of who you are. And as they said, you can still play War Chief Shuffle if you want. Chromie will be the one to lead you around, although I feel like it would probably be okay if they just made, the portal rooms. Just have it for leveling characters instead of spitting you out at capitals, spit you out at start points. Spit you out at the Dark Portal to Hellfire twice. Spit you out at, your Wrath and Pandas, you gotta start with you start in your capital, so that, Kata, Kata's already got its thing. Kata doesn't need any work. I'm trying to think what else. Burning Crusade, Wrath is bored. Okay, yeah, that's all of them. Right, and, Legion starts, talk to somebody and get ported to Dalaran. Okay, yeah, I'd say that's good. Or even Broken Shore, that would be a fun one. I kind of want to go back and do that scenario just because I want to compare how it looks now to how it ended up. The whole 1 to 50 thing I think is going to be pretty good. 50 to 60 for Shadowlands. That seems fine. By the sounds of it, it'll be 2.5 levels a zone. Heirlooms will help. I wonder how heirlooms are going to work now. Because I don't think it makes a lot of sense now to have the constant tiering up of heirlooms. I kind of hope they'll just squirt them down and give me my 100,000 gold back. Or maybe instead of ranking them up for level coverage, you rank them up for power. And it's like then base ones are greens, then blues, and then if you've gotten them all the way up, they're epic power. That would be cool too. That is definitely one thing I want to find. I might go tweet at the devs later, is how are heirlooms going to work, because I see a potential for some overhaul. And definitely a current system not going to work in. Yeah, Shadowlands looks pretty good. I really like the look of those armor sets. Excited for the backpack stuff. I'm excited. So let's talk about BFA and that gigantic shit show. BFA's not over, unfortunately. Still gotta get through 8.3. At least 8.3 looks to be the highlight of BFA, which is very good. Corrupted Gear at least has some interesting stuff to do. The Visions will provide me some stuff I can do solo because I don't have a raiding guild. But at the same time, I just want it to be over. I want to throw the Heart of Azeroth into my bank and not have to think about it. It sounds like its powers will be disabled in Shadowlands. If not completely disabled, greatly diminished. So I just want to throw it in my bank, put on a new necklace, and get to questing, dump all the Azerite armor in the trash. I hope there's no new scrap mechanic going forward, because that didn't work. That just led to bad glut. So yeah, BFA was a hot mess. They went from the epic story of fighting the Legion to, oh hey, Sylvanas is suddenly a bad guy. That was very much not communicated well. Her activities in Legion did not lend to her activities in BFA. In that initial story of the book outside of the game, it made a little bit of sense why the war got started, but it still just it was poorly executed. It didn't work. Like it just did not work. And I'm ready to leave it behind. I'm ready to leave the characters behind. Like, okay, let's see. Winners of BFA: Queen Talanji, Jaina Proudmoore, maybe Anduin. Losers of BFA, and we get Thrall back. So win for Horde, but not win for Thrall. Loser. Oh, and Sarfang, I guess. I don't know. Sarfang just kind of felt like, oh, my turn to be Green Jesus. Die for all our sins. New Horde. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, Rokan wins, too. Okay. Losers in BFA. Sylvanas. Tyrande. Gen. Non-Jaina Proudmoores. The Horde. Because we lost the Fourth War pretty badly. Like, canonically, we lost the war fronts. We lost the battle for Dazara Lore. We lost the war. Not gonna be letting Blizzard live that one down anytime soon. Yeah. Horde got to commit atrocities, very poorly handled, much like Blizzard's PR. Just terribly handled. Now, someone kind of compared it to Game of Thrones. I feel it was more like they just wanted to have the same kind of epicness that came with, friggin' Sargeras and Legion, Illidan. But the problem is, these are larger-than-life characters, empowered by giant cosmic forces. Jaina, Rastakhan. They're just people, troll people. They're not that special. And suddenly they're displaying power levels like Khadgar, who's got, like, some kind of weird guardian thing. Like, it just didn't work. The war campaign was terrible. It wasn't fun. I have to play through it right now on this character. I'm going to side with Sylvanas Loyalist, just because I want that ending, because that's what I was going through on my other characters, but, like, just the war campaign wasn't fun. It was a bunch of lore. No real reward except more Azerite, which again, thank God that's going away. Just, it was a hot mess. It wasn't fun. It was mostly character deprogression. And the whole time they were like, Sylvanas isn't going to be Garrosh 2.0. No, Sylvanas was Garrosh 2.0. That's what happened. The only difference is, no, she's literally Garrosh 2.0 because she's leading us into the next expansion. Holy shit, that just clicked. Sylvanas is Garrosh 2.0. Blizzard, stop it. There's no redeeming Sylvanas at this point. The best we can do at this point is let her be the final boss of the first thing. Let's kill her. Let's be done. Look, Sylvanas is tainted forever by BFA. This is not the story I wanted for my Banshee Queen. So, end it quickly. Just stop ruining her character. And you're retconning away some of her best moments as, oh no, she already served the jailer since Wrath. Like, no, just stop it. You've butchered my Horde. You've butchered my character. The only upside is that the Horde gets a council leadership, so cool. No more War Chief. I don't want to hear about a 5th war in my lifetime. And I plan to live a long-ass time. So yeah, BFA. Let it die. Let it be done. Again, it's like, I'm perfectly fine if they want to roll out 9.0 3 or 4 months before the expansion actually launches. Or make it 8.4. I want the Heart of Azeroth gone. I want the systems gone. I want so many of these new things that are coming. I'm fine on waiting on the actual Shadowlands content. It's the systems that I want the most. I want the end of the BFA story, which I know we have, but I want it over. I want the class updates. And I want the freaking I want Azerite armor to go away. That's what I want the most. I'm perfectly fine if those come out early, because then at least I can enjoy more what I'm doing. Playing through older content right now just feels bad because my class feels bad. Unholy is awkward, but Frost is just unusable. It's literal bottom of all the DPS meters. And part of me wondered if they were doing that so that the number of Death Knights would be low enough so that people would roll new ones. Like, Frost needs love. Frost needs to lose Breath of Sindragosa. Like, that talent needs to go away. Cool concept. Terrible execution. Killed my spec. Please, get rid of that. Just go back to... I will forever love the way Preacher used to describe Frost before Breath of Sindragosa. You wanted those meaty obliterates that hit so hard that if you got a crit with Obliterate, you didn't just hit that orc. You hit his entire ancestral line and obliterated them. That's what I want to go back to on Frost. Alright, I promised at the very end that I would cover the special, Vestements of the Eternal Traveler. Or, wait, no, I need the worm. So, first thing is, you do need the big worm, not the little one. On the butt, there's this guiding orb. Right-click, and Zorlaltios will appear, who's already wearing the stuff. Get the quest from him. It is the Eternal Traveler, and you need to gather 40 Echoes of Mortality. I spent about an hour farming this morning and a dungeon, and I got 5 from farming in 1 kill, and then 1 from the dungeon from a boss. So this is not going to be a quick one, but when it's done, you will get the ensemble for the Vestements of the Eternal Traveler. So that's how you get that. Good luck, everyone, on that grind. I'll see you all in Shadowlands. Farewell.